Okay, now excuse the words, because when I say they or we, that basically means I, but not from my personal perspective. Just, you'll see what I mean. When they or we decided that we needed to have school to keep kids busy, work to keep adults busy, and just business to keep everyone busy, keep the world busy. We needed economy, we needed civilization, we needed community. We need that. Yeah. But what is that if you weren't doing a social economy, you would still have community. Maybe you could reach out and explore and go farther out without having to worry about saving up money and being able to take a vacation to a farther away spot. You could just go anywhere whenever you wanted to by travel and by people who... See, people took their time and effort to do things with their mind. They were, say, if they weren't made do it by somebody. Nobody forced them to take the discipline and the action and the effort and all of that self-contained control and, putting all of your focus towards something or putting a good amount of it to accomplish things. Since some people could do that and some people couldn't, they saw that they could, over time, control the people who couldn't focus very well by telling them what to focus on and making it seem like it was necessary. Now, from a smaller level, way smaller level, I'm not even going to get into it because people don't want to simplify their minds to the fact of we were once like baboon kind of minded people. We weren't like any other animal, but we were very harsh to each other. And as we grew, we had many, 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 many different bodies. And right now, when I say we, that means everything. The plants, the animals, the people. But now we're talking from a people perspective because mind is operating everywhere. Flowers grow because they want to live. Animals live because they want to stay alive and survive. People grow, like plants, they want to grow and live. Like animals, they want to survive. But on top of it, we can think. And we can organize our minds together to work with stuff around us. Better with communication. But we've distorted the way we communicate. And we've let people take advantage of us by saying, listen to this closely. When you, an individual, whoever you are, no matter how deep your mind is broken down and brainwashed into what you think you are for a profession or as your living condition. Now you, no matter who you are individually, when you open your eyes, I don't care if it's wake up in the morning, I don't care if it's first thing when you're alive. The people who love you, who had you, should decide what exactly happens to you at first if they are loving and respectful. Now, see, some people would have had babies and not really cared too much about what happened to it over time when they got annoyed with the fact of, boy, I can't handle this all the time. Oh, no, I can't handle this all the time, and I don't want to have to deal with this. And some people couldn't do that. So other people, just like ones who could focus on tasks, had to make sure that people consciously or with some kind of, not just structure, but organized fashion to raise somebody so that they weren't, just dirty, mangy, mindless animals. So we put things into organization. Now, through many of us, all things, everything through time, we've been able to look at things and realize what should be and shouldn't be. Now that we're at the point such as that, people themselves have to take it upon themselves to feel out what they want to learn. We've put so much violence and morbidity and sexuality and twisted it into ways that make us feel and act like monsters and animals. And yes, we can be, but we do not have to be. The problem is people are allowing it. They're choosing to continue it. They're wanting to act like animals. They're wanting to be beasts and badasses and hard. Think about just the wording people use. I'm not making it up. That's what they say. They want to be hard. They want to be animals. They want to be badasses. They want to be tough. They want to be strong. They want to be better than others. At what? Surviving? Living and growing? Or is that just your mind, your ability to actually analyze things and make decisions? Is that your mind being so fucked up that you are making it seem like everything you want is all that matters, and that's what's important? Well, when you start thinking about that from a different perspective, it depends on who you are. If we go to the government and they say, or the world leaders who tell us what to do, and we say that what they think is important and that's what everyone should do, well, I guess that would make sense. But since I, myself, individually, do not agree with some dude in a business suit just because he's got a position and some kind of name, no matter what he did to get there, whether it was good, bad, lied, whether he was honest, whether he was deceitful, whether he struggled his way through life, or whether he cheated his way through politics, or bought his way in, it doesn't matter to me. Because when I hear them talk, and I see what they're talking about, and telling people what they should do with the way they live, I know better. And I'm hoping somewhere deep down in people, they know better too. You do not need paper, money, and digits to decide how to survive. Do you? Because if you do, you're a fucking retard. And I'm not trying to put down the people who are born with conditions. I'm talking about people who choose to slow themselves down purposely. You're a fucking retard. If you think you need paper, money, digits, or some status, some guy saying, I've got $1 billion, and I can teach you how to make $69,000 a week. Who fucking cares, asshole? Do you really give a shit about yourself? Do you think you need money to clarify or classify or, verify that you're a good guy? Because if you do, you've been brainwashed since you were just a little bitty baby, and you don't know how to fucking escape. And because someone's bringing the truth to you, you don't know how to handle it, so you'll think that person's the bad guy. I am the fucking good guy, people. You yourself are your own bad guy in ways. And there's a good guy inside you that wants to say, oh my God, he's right, but what the hell do we do to get the government to not kill us, but cooperate and say, fuck, we've been really messed up this whole time. And this guy is fucking right. And I'm sorry, right or wrong, this guy is right. Because he's got the passion of God within him. Not just what people think God is. Nature itself. He has died and come back. And he's remembered what happens to us and why we're here. Many people have had the experience such as quite a comparable thing, but instead their ego got in the way and they started saying this matters and that matters and this matters and I want things for me. I don't want shit for me. I'll sit and eat flowers and drink out of the pond for the rest of my fucking life if that's what I have to do. Because I will not live in a world that survives off paper where people judge people on nothing but bullshit and acting the way they're told. I will not act the way I'm told. And if somebody doesn't like that, come and blow my head off. I'm more spiritual than anyone who's ever lived. Because I know the truth. The God-given truth. The God itself truth. What Jesus knew, but couldn't say in words because we didn't have enough of an organized mind around us to put that together. People that read it don't have an organized mind. They're reading it in a book given to them by people who have all these mentalities associated with it. And if you don't get that, you're fucking retard. No matter what religion you're in, everything that has been handed to you has been handed to you about some iconic person or some idealistic being that they themselves are telling you to follow. Don't you see that there's a two-step process in the middle of that? And if you take away the fact that they're both outside you, that's an all-outside step process. The only process you'll ever have doesn't have words like Jesus and God and Christ and anything like that. The only true process you have is inside you, which has no words and nothing but your sensual, spiritual experience. Now, those are words to explain them, but if you took the words away, you know what the hell I mean. There is nothing else but reality around you. You choose to distort yourself with the shows you watch, the people you see, and the thoughts you somehow get your brain caught on thinking that they're your reality. And if you don't get that, I love you too much to say that that makes you a retard. because you're not choosing to do that. I know that. I was stuck there too, as Dan. Now Dan is who I have to be, and people look at me like I'm just a weirdo, because I don't give a shit about money. I care about you individually. I care about every bug, every dog, every cat, every flower, everything. There's not one thing that I have a negative feeling towards. Things give negative vibrations, and I talk about them. I don't think negative about them. I want to help them. When I see a person doing wrong, I don't think, oh, they're horrible. I know that what they're doing is wrong, so I want to help it. So I say, hey, you don't want to do that. That's not a good thing to do, you know? And if I have to raise my voice or say it in different ways, or just at that point I can't help and I have to let it go and talk about it later, or try to make a point to people, then that's what you have to do. You have to. Your job isn't to go out and make money. They distract you with that. They distract you with the ideas of school and business and commerce and shit. That distracts you. It keeps you in a game against other people instead of working with them. You might get a little handful of your groupies or your group or your co-workers, and that might seem like you're working with some people. But you're seeming to work against people, or you're conspiring to take money or service or effort or time from people by giving them your product, which most likely is bullshit that is unnecessary and not needed. If it helps, then good. If it distracts, then bad. But everything that we have these days can either help or distract. And people are making more opportunities to be distracted, and people themselves individually are choosing to take the stupid route and do things that are just fun and just enjoyable and just entertaining, while real bad shit happens in the background. They're so entertained that when somebody disappears and you hear about it, you go, oh, wow, that's crazy. I've heard about stuff like that before. And if it happens to someone you know, you're like, wow, it actually came close to home. What's on TV? Oh, how can I get my mind off this horrible stuff? Instead of how can we work on making these things better? Because if we don't actually start addressing it, it's going to get worse. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it then. And I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. The bad news is among us. You're just not looking at it. So then you're going to get blindsided when it hits you in the fucking head. And you don't know what to do about it. And even the people in the government are going to have that happen to them. Because they're not as important as they think they are with their suits and ties and their fake money. Which means nothing. It really means nothing. We've been that confused that we have trillions and gagillions of dollars in debt. None of it's real. Not one penny has ever been valuable, besides the fact that we're living beings here to make it better, not to fuck it up. And instead of fucking it up like we have been, why don't we choose to make it better? I refuse to do anything that contributes to fucking it up. Sorry about my language, but it's true. I will not fuck the world up any more than I already have, as when I was unconscious. Now I'm here to cure the world, heal the world. Anyone who needs help, come see me. I'm fucking serious. I'm talking like this because I'm getting really angry with the fact that my heart is pouring out to people, and just because I don't talk the way or act the way that society or television or entertainment talks, they don't give a shit. Because if you talk about God, they're like, oh, what? This guy doesn't know what the hell. He's in La La Land, all that God stuff. That's all there really is. That's all there ever has been. That's all there ever will be. When you have a car, did you have a car your whole life? No. Are you going to have that same car your whole life? No. Now, while you're in it, you forget about that. While you're in your body, you forget about the fact that everyone else is a living spirit energy like you. You forget that. Whether you agree that, yeah, once in a while I think about it here and there, and wow, everyone's alive like me. That bug has living energy in its body like I do. Like that bird, that animal, like that tree, that has living energy in it like I do. The air is present. I see it. I understand it. I can talk about it and comprehend it. Other things can't do that. Wow. We've given names to this beautiful thing that now we're so confused by it, we'll give names to other stuff that we make from the natural things. And now we'll say it's better because it's more entertaining, and they're being distractions while they're taking advantage of people with them. If they could use them for good, great, but they're not. They simply are not. They're either trying to drive you to make money and be distracted, or be totally forgiving, focus on abundance and love, and don't focus any of your energy. What you focus on persists. No. What you don't focus on still will happen in the background when you're in this world, and you're in this world to affect it consciously. You can't just... You can go and you can do something on your own at a small level because you feel that you can't do something big to affect the world. But don't stay involved with society. I have to speak out to the world because I have felt the world. I have felt everything be created. And since that's my reality, I can't lie. I have to tell. What else am I going to do the rest of my life? It's the only thing that's real. I can act like Dan. I can watch my dad watch TV and watch the news and be like, are you so confused that you don't have to look at that box to see what the weather outside is? And when tomorrow comes, worry about it tomorrow. We do know how to handle ourselves. The world isn't going to flood because people over-worry. Things happen when people get out of control. People can learn how to be in control instead of by watching the television or the news and being controlled. That is all control. I know what tomorrow's weather is going to be like and what 5 days from now is going to be like because I saw the 5-day forecast. And I know what's going on around me because they told me. You see what's going on around you. You see what happens when you're there. That's about all you can really, really, really take into effect that you can consider as somewhat real. Because most of those people don't know what they're doing or why they're doing it. So yeah, it's there, it's physical. But the people's minds mostly aren't there either. They're mostly thinking about the girl or the guy they care about, or what song they were just listening to, or not being here in the moment with the world they're in. Because they are a piece of the great Creator, or God, and they've just forgotten about it. No matter how far away they are, they may be some hideous, wanting to harm other kind of person, or they could be someone who's like, Om, 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 great, powerful beings beyond, who don't, when you're asking about the beings beyond, you're saying words within yourself. If you're doing that and understanding that, that's one thing. But if you really think there's anything outside you, if you think your body's where you stop, you're really, really confused. And most people are exactly that. They have no idea what we're really doing. And I can help them. And I'm trying to find the words to do it because it's all I've been doing for now 3 years, because it happened 20 years ago, but I didn't believe it because I was on drugs. And since it happened last time and it was real, without no drugs, no drinking, no smoking a cigarette, no weed, no nothing. It was just pure reality. God itself, divinity, the words we give the most precious and graceful things. That happened, and I won't lie about it. And now, because I'm being honest, the people around me, everyone, no matter who they are, even my parents to some degree, know that there's something different about this guy because this wasn't how he acted before, and I don't know why he changed. But Dan can't come back and be an actor of some dude who cares about making money. And once you wake up, you can't either. And what does that do to you? It puts you in a world full of people who are so confused, they really don't know how to escape. And even though you make sense when you talk, they're too scared to try that. They just are. I'm not scared of anything. Anything. And I'm not going to prove anything to anyone anyway, because you can't. No matter if one person says, do this and it'll prove to me you're tough, that's not going to prove it to everybody. I know. I've done it. Billions of times. Billions. Lives are nothing to me. As in what it's like to experience them. They're all precious. Yes, very. You learn something from each one. And you have. You just don't remember them. I remember them all, so I can't pinpoint one. And when I try to, I lose where Dan is in this real world. Because people need Dan to act like Dan. Somewhat. If I didn't, it'd be really weird. His parents would kick him out or not ever want around him. I don't need to be there. In fact, I barely set foot inside a house. If anything, I sit in a vehicle. And until that's gone, I'll be out in a little hut. And after that, I don't care if I live out in the woods and I get rained on. I'll find a way to live. I've done it and I remember it. So, trying to do modern day stuff and be like, align this and flatten that and talk in the lingo, I know how to build stuff. I just have to have it, and I have to start messing with it and do it. I don't want to learn the lingo of this guy and that guy, the carpenters and the plumbers and the electricians. I'm understanding it by spirit. I understand it without having to touch it or explain it. I understand energy. Totally and truly. So, I don't need somebody to teach me anything. What I would like to do is find conscious people who know stuff, who they themselves want to learn more about true energy, not just electric or, being strong or muscles or the physical body or anything like that, or even just spirituality, to combine them all together into one divinity. Some infiniteness, to be infinity. That's what we are, but people don't really get that. If you're here and you're thinking, and I'm here and I'm thinking, where does think come from? And where do the words that I say that you get come from that somehow you comprehend? Because other people have told you through a recognition of your ears hearing them enough times, your eyes seeing them enough times, your hands writing them enough times, and the rest of your body being around them and associating them enough times. That's why. They're all symbols and numbers and letters and sounds and vibrations. We get that. Now, I remember creating them. And I remember them so much that I have to start with the alphabet. And I'm starting it right now. I'm doing it while right now I'm recording this. Everything's happening at the same time. But I'm working on that. It's a work in progress right now. Because ego comes in the way, or people around me come in the way. The everyday world is in the way. When you look around and you can't just say, that's not there, so I can't acknowledge it. And they're talking about their job, and they're talking about news, and they're talking about the world and how confused they are about it. And you want to say, hey, take it with a grain of salt. Yes, those are other people's lives, but they do have control. We have to help the people who can't help themselves. And right now we have to start with consciousness, because people all around the world have to start with the process of understanding. And once they can understand, they can really grow. But until then, they'll never know what the hell they're doing here, because they're controlled from the time they're born. So, I'm not going to ramble. I've really been trying to pour my heart out and say exactly what needs to be heard, because people need to hear this, whether they like it or not. You should sit people down and say, take 12 minutes, or I don't know how long this is, take 22 minutes of your time and listen to this, because it means a lot and it will help you. So please, do it for yourself, because we need to get this world together and stop being controlled by the thoughts of other people like world leaders, government, and money. And start really realizing that we are alive itself. We are life itself. So we are the living essence of spirit and the living essence of light and air and everything we do. The elements, a combination of those. Simply put, that's what we are. Simply. We don't need to worry about the stuff we're told to do if it doesn't make sense to us. When we want to learn and get smarter, sure. Yes, help people. Please do that. But don't lie to people. Don't lie to yourself. Don't be ran. And don't make somebody else's business your priority. Make the truth your priority. Make love your priority. Because deep down, that's all you're going to end up doing anyway. And you'll never want to... You'll wish that you could have changed it later. And right now, I'm just trying to help you do what you need to do as because I did it already. And I know it for sure. I have felt God. I feel God. And when people are around me and they don't believe in that kind of stuff, I can't even say it to them, because they'll just make fun of it and block it. What's the point? If you understand what I mean, you'll get it. But if you're truly spiritual, and you don't take anything that you've listened to or learned from someone else into account and go within yourself, take the words away, and then listen to what I'm saying. There's a lot of different ways to say it, but there's only one truth. And that's what I'm striving to explain, because I've been there, and I am it. I can't get away from it. There's no time in my life. Dan's body may grow old, but this consciousness has always been here, just aligned within his mind. Finally, somebody. But, till next time, peace.